Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and more Blood and Plunder as we continue with the native forces in Raise the Black. So before we get into our specific faction of the day, again, we're throwing this as a little sort of preface here at the beginning of our native videos. There are some special rules that apply to all of them. Some factions might have some abilities or rules that negate part of these abilities, but in general, this is just a catch-all for the natives in this selection here. So we can't have any artillery or ships of size 2 or larger. Again, that just makes sense. If we're the attacker in the scenario, we can actually deploy half of our units following the lay in wait scenario rule, so essentially playing up the ambush ability essentially. And then any ship in the force gains the paddles trait. Again, makes sense, very thematic. The final two abilities or bullet points here are pretty cool. The first one especially really can make our force pretty durable and defensive. But basically, if we are shot at, we can, and we're not already prone, before the attack is rolled, we can actually take a -1 bonus to our shoot saves for that attack, and then afterwards we go prone. Makes sense, right? Hitting the dirt and getting some bonus to save, so hopefully that will help us with mitigating casualties. The last one is kind of a trade-off. All units in the force are poorly equipped and gain Warcry. We like Warcry, but poorly equipped, not so much. Now, the first two factions we've looked at, the Creek and the Chickasaw, actually negate the poorly equipped part, but as we'll see here, not all factions get that ability. So, today we are taking a look at the Tuscarora. Again, everything here is 1700 to roughly 1730. And as with pretty much all the native lists here, there's not really too many frills on here, not too much going on like some of the major powers. Just nice and simple, couple special rules, and then some units, nothing, again, overly taxing as far as having to remember tons of different things going on. But everyone in the force, all units that is, gain Cunning and Battle Hardened. So a couple that we haven't really seen as often. Battle Hardened, basically the unit reduces the number of dice rolled for a fatigue test by 1, but only if taken as the result of a fight action. So again, basically making us a little bit better in close combat, if we think about it that way. And then Cunning, we have seen that one before, but basically when this unit falls back as a result of becoming shaken, it can actually move 5 instead of 4, so we can get out of trouble a little bit better. Then the Commander gains Castilian, which we haven't seen much of, and Resilient as well. Now, Castilian is units with the same within the same fortification as the Commander get a -1 bonus to rally tests. So we essentially, if we can find something that would qualify as a fortification, it's going to be harder to dislodge us on that. And then Resilient, again, plays up the defensive nature of things there. So Resilient is simple. We get a -1 bonus to strike tests, so keeping us in the fight longer as far as the force goes. From there, it's pretty standard as far as what you would expect from the native list. We do get a little bit more units than some of the other forces. So core is Braves, Nisis, and Warrior Archers. And then on the support side, we get Warriors, Renegados, unaligned, and Young Braves. So just a little bit more than, for example, the Chickasaw, where we just have 4 unit types there. But again, a nice balance between core and support, not lopsided like we've seen with some of the other factions out there. And then commanders, as you would expect, standard natives, and then also King Hancock as our special character. So one special character. Again, we're always going to review the special characters separate just to keep the video length down a little bit, but just keep that in mind. You have at least one special character option in the force. Now, as these do read, it always says the force's commander gains that. So again, correct us in the comments, but it would seem to then indicate that even though he's a special character with already things going on, special rules and all that, he is also going to gain Resilient and Castilian because that is the force special rule. But as we said, this force, we also have Warcry across the board, so don't forget that for close combat. Again, we've got some interesting things going on there with our durability in the list, with like Cunning and Battle Hardened, but Warcry for the offense. But we are poorly equipped, so, and that is, if there is a downside, then that would be our one main downside, right? So if we're activated by a club, we gain an additional reload marker to small arms or artillery if we gain any during that activation. So it's not the end of the world, right? We aren't always hopefully going to be stuck on clubs, but it is just something that it's gonna become a pain at the wrong time guaranteed, right? We're always going to get stuck with a club when we really don't want to have clubs. But aside from that, it's again not the end of the world, right? Because a lot of the list is going to be geared towards getting into combat as well. So another fun native list to test out. Let us know in the comments, guys, if you have played the Tuscarora and how those games have gone, or if you've come up against them, what went well or what didn't. Again, drop us a comment, like, and subscribe. We will have more Blood and Plunder soon as we keep working our way through the natives in Raise the Black. Thanks for watching.